This is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Megir 8602. Let's go off the wrist check. I'm wearing the Squally 1521, and Grego's wearing my Rolls Teamy RT 128. Grego asked me when the Japanese Beatles' next album was coming out. I told him never. The band broke up. He said, is it because Jin and Mal started dating really bad singers? I said no. Mrs. Watchdog sucked them up with the vacuum cleaner. All right, let's take a look at the watch. It did not come in a box. I could have caught a box, but it would cost me a couple bucks more. So I just figured, why bother? Because it didn't look like the box was going to be anything great. But here it is. This is the 8th Megir on my channel. I'm not sure if I will call this a Richard Mille homage or not. Just something heavily inspired by Richard Mille. Nobody would write Richard Mille on it and try to pass it off as the real thing. This is a skeleton watch which uses an automatic movement that was never meant for skeletonization, and thus there is plenty of fakery on the dial, showing gears and connectors that do not exist. This watch cost me $22 at the time of purchase, but does seem a bit more now. I saved a couple dollars by not getting a box. This watch comes in 4 different colorways where the strap color matches the crown and rehaut. If you don't like the blue I chose, there's a black or white version with the chrome plated case. If orange is your thing, you get a black PVD coated case. The watch is 42.6 millimeters wide, and it's 49.5 millimeters lug to lug. Yes, I said lug to lug. This Richard Mille homage actually has lugs. It's 14.4 millimeters thick and has a 22 millimeter lug width, which tapers down to 20. And weighs 100 grams on the supplied silicone strap. So this is a Richard Mille homage. So the bezel, of course, looks like a Richard Mille. Then these little screws, I'm pretty sure, are decorative. I don't think they're real. I don't see anything going through them. So pretty sure they're decorative. I hope they are anyway, because it'd be a pain to have to unscrew them. And then we have the dial. This is a skeleton watch. Once again, the movement was never designed to be skeletonized though. We have this rehaut with the indices, and it says Megir up top. And then we have the numerals. And then we have a bunch of fake gears. And this looks like where the escapement should be, but it's not. So yeah, a lot of fakery on the dial. And there is no date. And then we have the skeleton hands, and they have loom tips. And then we have the minute hand, and the minute hand has no loom. And the minute hand can be a little difficult to see because of that. Then we have the crown is a push-pull, and it's color matched. And then we have the mineral glass crystal. There's a lot of reflection though, just because of the shape. I just think it's only because of the shape and not because the glass is cheap or anything. It's just not shaped very well. And then we have the case. The case is a chrome plated alloy. You're not going to get stainless steel automatic at this price. Well, not usually anyway. Not all chrome plated alloys are created equal, and this one seems fairly sturdy and substantial. And then we have the case back. It says automatic movement, 8602, stainless steel back, which is a good tell. The rest is not. And then water resistant. If you see water resistant without numbers, that means you get your basic 30. And this case back is held on by 4 tiny little Phillip head screws. And it's a display case back. Underneath the case back is a movement that I don't know what it is. There is no writing on the movement. But so it must be Chinese. I don't know if it's the Tongji movement. But I noticed that the rotor does not spin freely in any direction. So it's a bidirectional rotor. And the movement does not hack. So let's go ahead and put it on the Timegrapher and see how it's doing. Here it is on the Timegrapher. And as you can see, it's running fairly accurate. But it's kind of all over the place. But I think it's just because my Timegrapher is having trouble picking up the beat because of that thick case. But in most cases, it's +4, 0, -2. And the amplitude seems pretty good. I don't know what the lift angle is on this movement, so I'm just leaving it at the default 52. But like I said, I think a lot of it's just noise from it being too thick from the caseback, so it seems to be running fairly accurate. A lot more accurate than one would expect in a watch in this price range with the Chinese movement. The strap is silicone, and it's a nice silicone. It's not too soft and squishy. It's a little slick, but still pretty good. And once again, this watch actually has lugs, 22mm lugs. So you can see where the spring bars are. You could actually change the strap if you wanted to put it on leather or something. Most Richard Mille homages have a proprietary strap that's integrated, and you can't change it unless you replace it with the identical strap. So that's just kind of a nice touch. Then we have two keepers, one fixed, one floating. The fixed is held with these little nibs. And sometimes these nibs do a good job and sometimes they don't. Well, this is one where they do a pretty good job. Then we have the buckle. The buckle is brushed stainless steel. Of course, the case is chrome plated, so it would have been nice if the buckle was polished, but still, that's not that big of a deal. Then we have some pretty good breathing slots here. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. That looks nice. That wears nice. And this is a Richard Mille homage that's not huge and chunky, so it fits pretty good. Has some nice wearability. I have 4 notches left, so you can wear this 8.5. And if your wrist is bigger than 8.5 and you don't want to cut another notch in here, you could actually put a strap on it. Here we're in the loom room. This is a 20-something AliExpress chrome-plated Ally watch, so the expectations aren't exactly high. As we speed up the time, we see the green glow of C3, and things are fading fairly fast. Fortunately, the minute hand is stronger than everything else, but unfortunately, the hour hand is only barely stronger than the week indices. But I've seen worse. What I like about this watch, it looks and wears really nice. Has actual lugs, so you can change the strap. A little bit smaller than your typical Richard Mille homage, and the movement's running fairly accurate for a cheap Chinese automatic movement. What are my gripes and groans? There's lots of fakery on the dial, little fake gears, and the escapement wheel isn't where it should be. Could use better loom, and there's quite a bit of reflection on the crystal, but I think that's just the shape. Do I recommend this watch? It seems fine for the money, but if you're looking for a Richard Mille homage, you might want to find one a little bit closer to what a Richard Mille actually looks like. But it does look and wear really nice. So I guess, yes, I'll recommend it. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Megir 8602, and I will be back with another review. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this watch, be sure to use my affiliate link, and I'll get a tiny commission. But those tiny commissions do add up. And that's how I was able to buy this squally for this channel. Bye.